God is good, and for each day that passes brings us a day closer to the official word from Visionary Realms to clarify the leak about their new game mode and either set the house on fire or put the fires out, because somebody out there went to MMO news outlets and broke NDA and gave away information about the 247 testing. I do not plan on breaking the NDA because I respect the contract in which I signed. But I found that it's better to at least address all of this than to sit quiet for weeks while you, the community, are obviously upset about it. Once again, I cannot talk about anything that isn't public, but we can discuss the drama about Pantheon that has leaked and the public responses from the devs. You can also expect that I'll be making another video after VR's official response that they say they'll be making in a couple of weeks in their newsletter, because everything will be much more clear at that time. Now, I need you to listen to the whole video. If you stop listening before it's over, you're gonna miss very important context and clarification. My name is Nathan, I cover MMOs, so please hit that like button like it owes you money and subscribe for more. So first, what was this leak? Well, allegedly, according to the leaker, Pantheon testing has been more of an extraction mode in a form that testers can play anytime instead of only set times on the schedule. In other words, VIP members can play Pantheon according to this leak anytime, but they're playing a mode that is an extraction type. That's what the leak says. Now keep in mind, this leak comes at terrible timing, with roughly half the Pantheon fans already upset about the art style change. I think the graphics look fine and could even look beautiful as the lighting and more details added to the character models and we start to see it more fleshed out. But in any case, let's look at this alleged letter leaked about Pantheon, and keep in mind, I said alleged. It says, we are in a position now where crowdfunding has slowed and there is still a lot of world building and content to create. Continuing this trajectory is not reasonable. We could continue and Pantheon would launch, but it would still be a long time from now. We have made huge advances in efficiency and velocity, but its projected launch is still years off at this pace. If we can monetize 247, which is the name of the mode previously discussed, not only can it potentially earn some revenue, but it can gain positive attention from potential partners to invest in Visionary Realms as a company so that we can launch Pantheon in a more reasonable time frame. And also, Ben Dean did come out publicly and responded, saying, in regards to some posts you may have seen this week, we would like to offer some clarity. The 247 play mode began life as a testing tool. We soon saw its potential to stand on its own feet. We believe the marriage between MMO and extraction is something that will speak to a much larger audience than we have reached to date, and we are exploring that opportunity. This is not a cancellation of Pantheon, as Pantheon and 247 are symbiotic and developed in tandem. If we choose to monetize 247 and it is successful, we could potentially allow Pantheon to launch much sooner than currently projected. We will outline 247 and what it means to our players in our producer letter Thursday, October 26th. So listen, I originally wasn't going to make a video about this. I wasn't going to touch it with a 10-foot pole until VR addressed it publicly. But with Ben Dean releasing this statement, I feel it is my responsibility to now talk, because Ben's response proves that no, Pantheon the MMO is not canceling. The game mode is meant for testing purposes. Now, one could get concerned with the quote of we saw its potential to stand on its own feet, or that they now think the marriage between MMO and extraction is something that will speak to a much larger audience. And I'll tell you right now, extraction games do not speak to me. But I'm willing to see where this goes, and if doing some really weird, strange stuff helps Pantheon develop the game, I'm a tester, so that's okay. What choice do I have? Now, let's address the big elephant in the room, monetization. Ben says if we choose to monetize 247 and it's successful, it could potentially allow Pantheon to launch much sooner than currently projected. Now listen, folks, this is a wide statement. How will they monetize 247 if they monetize 247? That's the real question. I think that's the key, and we'll learn about that hopefully on October 26th. But would it really be so bad if they offered a price to play Pantheon's 247, like a box price of some sort? Well, that sounds good. But what about all the people that drop big money for alpha pledges? What if they offered loot boxes or a cash shop? Well, if they did, that's where I would have to personally draw the line. Maybe they plan on just a monthly fee, and with the servers open now, that wouldn't be such a bad thing. So what I'm trying to tell you is that this is why leaks are so damaging to video games while they're being tested and developed. The leak only confirms monetization and extraction game mode. And I'm using the word confirmed very loosely here. All of the people, such as myself, who are trying to respect the NDA, we can't even properly defend or offend any of it. And everyone who reads a leak, which is quite frankly everyone in the community, let's be honest, and beyond, are all going to assume the worst. Because that's how MMOs usually go. They go down. Especially after the art style announcement and a large portion of the community already upset about that. Let me say this, I do hate cash shops. They absolutely ruin the integrity of MMOs and the development process of said MMO. When devs are being rewarded for making great content in the world of an MMO, the community of that MMO wins new content to keep them engaged. And in order for devs to be rewarded for making good content in the MMO, the monetization has to be geared in a way that rewards them in that way, such as subscriptions. But when cash shops are introduced, now the devs are being rewarded for making cosmetics, which adds little to nothing to the actual game and doesn't even feel cool to get those cosmetics because you didn't earn it in the game, you just bought it. And then it's so easy to slip into pay to win because the devs are going to have to offer things people want to get, which immediately turns off 96% of the player base. So when we find out the monetization model they may choose to go with, I will discuss that in full detail. But just remember, all games have to monetize or they can't be in business. So in my opinion, hearing that they're going to possibly monetize their 247 testing doesn't really mean much at all. It's monetized right now. You need to buy a VIP pledge package to play it. So until we get more details, it's not a reason to burn the house down yet. Also, testing for MMO development typically is done behind closed doors internally. And although we know Pantheon does do internal testing, they're a very small team, so they do rely heavily on testing from their VIP user base, meaning that they are in a very tricky situation, making the testing fun and engaging enough for people to keep doing it so they can get important data for development. And from the small amount of information we got to go off publicly, it sounds to me that they are trying to find an innovative way to do this. Whether it pans out or not is, yet to be seen. But when we do learn exactly what this testing mode is and how it plays, it is obviously up to each individual whether they think that sounds like it's worth doing or not. We can only hope that not too much development time is needed to keep this mode going, taking away time from making the actual MMO that was promised. And Ben Dean did say that the development of this mode is in tandem with the MMO. In other words, it is symbiotic. I know that's going to raise some eyebrows after situations like Camelot Unchained and their stunt with their little game mode, different game thing, or even Ashes of Creation doing that weird Apocalypse PUBG style version. So let's just say that Pantheon pulls off something like this, they'll be the first ones to do so without pissing off everyone in the community and beyond. Starting to feel like Buzz Lightyear here with that. And now, I want to end it with my thoughts, and keep in mind, I'm playing freaking mental gymnastics like it's an Olympic sport right now to not break the NDA, but I invested a big chunk of money into Pantheon, a lot of you did too, because we believed in it becoming the type of MMO we want to play. And I want to put emphasis on the word MMO, because that's what we all invested in Pantheon for. The vision, the world, the classes, the adventure, the group mechanics, the lore, and more. All tied to it being an MMO, though. There are lots of extraction games out there that are very high quality, and whatever VR has up their sleeves, they must understand they will be competing with a completely different genre and trying to convince people who like MMOs to suddenly enjoy a different genre in order to get the genre that they actually wanted. Whew! That's a hard sell. Also, VR must understand that this is very strange, and kickback is inevitable. And in my opinion, what Pantheon really needs is a big dump of content that reminds us why we invested and brings new people to the table to get pledges. Stuff like new zones, dungeon show-offs, mob fights, streams showing off the world and content, proof that Pantheon Rise of Fallen is getting developed fast now with the changes to the art style. I'm just not sure about the direction and communication at this point. I don't even think it is fair that I feel the need to make this video to ensure that Pantheon is not being canceled and to clarify the tangled web that the leak and then having to hunt down developer responses and all this mess. I don't feel like that's very fair. There should have been an official Pantheon statement made and released extremely publicly on their YouTube page, on a special emergency stream, something, and quickly. But we've been complaining about the communication since the passing away of the founder, Brad McQuaid. God rest his soul. I can't help but wonder what would be happening right now if he were still here with us. And I feel that it's extremely important that the entire development team at Visionary Realms should be considering this as well as they move forward. The quick and easy of it is this. No, Pantheon is not being canceled. They are not announcing that they aren't doing the MMO and are suddenly making an extraction game. They're simply trying to find a solution to get the data they need in a strange testing environment. Yes, it is strange, and they are monetizing it in some way. But we don't know how. They need more funding to release Pantheon quicker. They are self-aware that the development process is taking too long, and they are aware they need to hire more people. And on October 26th, if they communicate clearly, we will understand their plan. Hopefully I didn't dance too close to the fire in this video to land me in trouble. But take note, I have to address this, as the community is on fire, and it's my responsibility to bring as much clarity as I can as a content creator who got 90% of my subscribers and supporters from covering Pantheon. So, after all that being said, please comment your thoughts on all this below. Do not break the NDA or I'll be forced to delete your comment. We can only discuss things that are publicly available. I hope you enjoyed my breakdown, and until next time, my friends, God bless and happy gaming. I want to give a very special thank you to the members of Napalm for your contributions month over month in keeping me full time. You help me pay the bills so I can keep streaming and pumping out content, and I truly appreciate all of you. Thank you so much, and I think you might be interested in becoming a member of the channel. Please click the join button down below the video for more information and join our family. And I want to give an extremely big shout out to the Lords of Napalm: Bounty Code, Jared Woodhouse, Daimlos, Sparrow, Random Rob, Rodney Mom, Gallery Moonsong, What's the Takeaway, Bad Wolf Gaming, Cobalt, William Long, Ohalo, and Robert Daneka. Thank you for your highest tier membership.